This is Zeus. Global Peace Project is so good. Today is Sunday, the 5th of April. And I'd like to talk about, and this is just a spur of the moment as I was drinking my coffee, smoking me cigar. I thought sexual transmutation. I was thinking about how the atoms and stuff like that are all uh, energy, right? Turn this background music down, I suppose. Just setting things up. So, I was thinking about it, if you read some of the esoteric books, they do have into it, let's say, this one is one that you can purchase and it's going to take you to a different level. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And there's a lot of people that say, I don't want money. Money, there's too much into money and all that stuff there. And yes, it is an energy that covers the planet. And it does help. It helps people with great ideas to bring about their idea. It helps people with really bad ideas bring about what they're doing. And they pay a price for it just like everybody else around them does by not training them properly. And this is kind of funny. We try to blame people about this and that, but the thought process is the governing force. And the governing force is normally put into a mind from 0 to 8 as a child. And most people don't walk out of that. But let's go back to the orgasms and then the sexual transmutation. And as I was studying in epigenetics, and there is a free, can you believe it, a free doctorate available to you in epigenetics and quantum physics and whatever field you want through YouTube. That is funny. So as you go through these things, and you only see the same things that the people see, and now you have the world that you can study it through, which is a beautiful school. And so in my school, I found out that apparently we're 700 trillion volts of electricity that emanate into a holographic reality that we create, which is a really good one because it's governed by what would be classified as belief. If I believe it to be true, it will be true in my reality. Now, that is a very interesting concept. So now when you go into the orgasm effect while a partnership is maintained at a particular mindset, the mind and the thinking now is isolated sort of like almost like a laser beam, because right there in that moment you're pretty well mostly there and the partner is mostly there, depending on the thought processes of each individual, and only you know where you're at in your mind. And I have been elsewhere sometimes. Just the thought process, right? But the manifestations I was thinking about when I was thinking about it in the midst of such a high energy came about super quick, and I didn't even know what I didn't know. See, this is interesting because when you consider that, the isolation of thinking on a thing is how quickly you come into the seeing of the thing. Now, the seeing of the thing is a response of, number one, you're going to see it, feel it, and participate. So the feel it part is the victim or the alpha style, beta, alpha, right? And how you register the thought when you're seeing it is whether or not you're going to participate in that thing. That is pretty phenomenal because I never considered it before that in these movies that they show on, people blowing shit up, depending on the mindset that you're in, you're either getting blown up or you're the one that's saying, fuck it, I am not going to succumb to anything else, or you're the blower up for whatever reason is being portrayed through the imagined experience that someone put together in a film. And that's interesting because the truth is, and this is a pivotal thought when you think about it. If you become what you think about most of the time, and there is documents, you can check them out yourself. It's your ability and research that's going to give you the information that you need. Because do not believe a word I say. Find it out, and it's available. You just ask the questions, and the questions will come. You can go through AI, you can go through Google, which is pretty well mostly AI driven anyway, so you're using AI if you're just asking questions on Google, but that really is the very lowest spectrum of AI usage for you in order to move forward. Now let's get back into focus on the orgasm effect. So the two people in agreement and in love, right? And love is the highest frequency, okay? That means you're vibrating at a potential rate of, Einstein said, he said, when the observance of the vibration is so quick, it defies beginning and end, right? So this is a laser shot on a thought. And if you're in agreement to something and then you allow that momentum to build through and you have the confidence to walk it out, because you're gonna have to walk out the experience. That's the whole idea of us creating these experiences. And then how you can regulate how you feel when you're asking, because the feeling is the experience of that thing that you're bringing in. So this is a new technique of thought, because sometimes it's better just to search for a feeling and then let the universe surprise you. And a lot of people say, well, I got to set up a foundation. I've got to be able to drag a bunch of stuff behind me. And it's true, we do that because we're manifesting shit all the time. When I think about it, look at these paintings here. When I started this thing here back in 2020, I had some ripped pants and backpack and a phone that I had to give back to the woman that I was staying with. I borrowed it for a little bit. Mine broke when I was with her, and so she let me use hers while I was staying with her. And then she did want everything back, but I wanted at least a form of communication. I didn't ask. I should have asked. I'm pretty sure. She was pissed at me, though, because I wasn't staying. She invested a lot of money in there, but it was what it was. She needed to go through some things that she needed to do, and she wanted a family, right? And the next person that she was with me, was her soulmate. So it worked itself out perfectly. And the soulmate had a child. So she was a mom again. And that's what she really wanted. She was a lover. Excited lover, she just wanted to do everything right now. And sometimes that's the way it works. And sometimes I just have to be patient. Right? So now we're in the act of the thought process. I've come to a deliberate conclusion with my partner. This is what I think I need, right? Because that's what we're going to go for, whatever we think we need or whatever we think we want, right? Because remember, when you got what you want, normally all your needs are taken care of. And that is the whole purpose. Everything's taken care of for you. Today is the day of your amazing good fortune. And so when you're going into that and you're thinking about the same thing, say you want to manifest a house, okay? And you guys went out, you've looked at the house. Remember, it's to ask, believe, and receive, okay? I ask, I want a new place. So now I'm going to go look for places, and then the universe is going to set it up for me. That's interesting, isn't it? Because if I'm being faithful and knowing that the universe is for me, not against me, now this is a new world. Because if the universe is for me, why would anything come to me that might harm me but what I think? Because I get what I think about most of the time. And indiscriminately, from me purposely, I'm not talking about anybody else, but back in the past, I sat down, watched TV. I did the things that I was taught to do in order to entertain myself, right? And the TV was pretty damn easy. Not knowing, and my parents didn't know either, and I forgive them and I love them. And you know what? They did the best that they could at the time that they could do it, because guess what? As you probably already know, this is not a joke. It's just having fun and then figuring stuff out as you go along, because it seems like it's different every day. And it's good. So, my parents did their best they could. I was trained by the TV, and we didn't even know it. We just figured it was entertainment. Keep the kids busy, and I did that with my children too, right? Letting go my right and my ability as a sentient being to pass off what I had. And truthfully, at the time, I'm so glad that they did not catch what I had, because I was not even conscious. I didn't even know what I didn't know, and I still don't know what I don't know, but I do know that if I put my focus on love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, my day seems to get better, because I don't harm people and I don't harm myself, and I do my very best in order to help people, because when it becomes available to help, I'm there, you know. And I didn't even realize that that was really a characteristic of me until I met a beautiful young redhead at the bus station in Indy one day. It's freezing outside. I think it was like 15 below. She's there, and I'm just looking for a bus thing, and then bam, she shows up, and she's, hey, how are you, sort of thing, you know, and very lively. And I said, that's an interesting coat you got there. What is that? And she said, well, it's a baby carrier. And I said, why you got a baby carrier? And she goes, well, I got my baby inside there. And I said, you got a baby? It didn't even look like she had a baby there, and she's 8 days old. Her name's Luna. I said, where are you staying? And she goes, out the street. I said, not today. I said, come on. And we just went straight. I dropped everything. I didn't even know what I was doing beforehand. But there was no way that this young lady with an 8-day-old baby was going to spend a moment outside. And at the time, I had a house there that I was renting. And anyway, so she came back after, I don't know how many years it's been, 5 years. And then she went to her mom's, and I had faith in the universe that everything was going to work out for her, because she was freaking smart. And so I just left and went to do a job, and I was no longer staying there. She said she came back a year later with a painting to give me. But she sent me the most beautiful, beautiful text that made me feel so good, right? She told me how she appreciated all the stuff I did for her. And you know, when it come down to it, I felt that was rejuvenating, and it really did touch my heart a whole bunch. And I just, Anyway, so when I see some of those things, these are actions I did when I was younger. And you know what? Damn it. It was a good action, and I was able to benefit another human being. And that is the peace that I have today. So now going back to the sexual transmutation. When you guys have this type of stuff, you can do anything that you want to do. And this is interesting, because knowing what we know today, if you can use energy, frequency, and vibration, and the understanding of it using a sexual transmutation thing. And it's funny, I think it was, what was that dude's name? The dude. He was basically put on the hit squad for the OTO to kill him, because he was doing sexual transmutation. And for some reason it's outlawed, but it's used by upper echelons, which is interesting. And why would that even matter? Well, you know, disconnection from your true power, being controlled, because they told us a while ago, they said, you know, if you don't use your subconscious brain, somebody else will. And they have been. They've been using you like a fucking pawn because you never did take a look. You never did ask the question. And it's just like it says in the big book for anybody that is in AA, stuff like that. A business that doesn't do a stock take goes out of business. Why? Because you got all the crap that you never could sell. Because you never did a stock take and you never did empty out the shelves and put new stuff in there and become a new being. And see, that's what the ride is. So you've got your idea, you got your partner, you're making love, you basically got the right sound frequency going on in there, 528, maybe even a higher octave, I don't know. But with all those things coming together, beauty, and then the thought of what you wanted to manifest, just living inside the house, being inside the house, being that, today is the day of your amazing good fortune, and to know it. And while you're going through the orgasm together, hopefully, right? Because you can have a lot of orgasms, but the whole idea is just stoking that fire. That's the whole, it's a creation experience. Two people, anytime two or more come together, it shall be, right? And this is the energy that you get in there. And it's very small, you can do it just in an agreement. Anytime that you're in the place and there's energy and you agree on something, it shall be. You see, the power is in you and me because we're one. And that's the funny thing, because there's so many different perspectives, and no two eyes see the same thing, no two ears hear the same thing, you don't see what you think everybody else sees. You see what you see, and you're what's called perceptually magnetized to that because you live inside an electromagnetic field, a vortexual field. Earth, whatever you want to call it, is a vortexual field, a hologram that has been created by you and everybody else working together in order to build this. Now, do we want to dismantle it totally? Probably not. It's so much goodness here, so much love, so much peace. What am I focusing on? And that is what I'm getting. What I'm focusing on is what I'm getting. See? Anyway, I hope that had a little bit of great stuff there. Remember, if you enjoyed this, you want to show some appreciation, we have money sign Global Peace Project. I did this at the end because you know what? If you don't want to stick around, I don't want your energy around me anyway. And the whole idea is, we want to be better together, and I don't want anybody to think that I have to pay for this. And you know what? If they just went through, got some nugget, and then left, that's a good blessing, May you become better. And, every day in every way, may we always become better, because that's the goal, right? Better, better, and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better, better and better. And it's also Global Peace Project on, what is it? PayPal. Yeah. I'll talk to you later.